In this video, I'm discussing why sensory rooms are extremely needed for autistic individuals, especially younger individuals on the autism spectrum. All that plus lots more is coming up right now. Hey guys, welcome back to the Ask Me World. My name is Dan and I have autism, ADHD, OCD and dyslexia. So I'm making weekly videos all about this stuff. If you want to learn more, remember to hit that subscribe button by clicking the notification bell down below. And also, I'm on all the other social media platforms, so please follow me for daily videos on those. So people on the autism spectrum thrive with sensory room access. And I'm going to break it down into a few pieces, like what a sensory room is, why this is apparent, and maybe what you could do about it right now at home, or at least in an environment that you can control. Before I do get into that, I just want to say thank you to today's video sponsor, which is Brillia. Now, Brillia is a non-prescription, non-addictive homeopathic medicine that you can take and buy online. It helps enhance clarity, improve concentration, and reduce feelings of anxiety, impulsivity, restlessness, and stress, which is perfect for somebody like me who has ADHD. Now, I have been taking Brillia for like 2 years, and I think it's super awesome. There's no nasties in it, and I think it's great. Now, you can get yourself a 15% off discount for Brillia using the code ASPY15 and the link in the description of this video or in my bio on my profile. Brillia also have Brillia for children, which is really cool, but I highly recommend speaking to your doctor if you're wanting to try Brillia. I swear by it, and I think the company is really awesome, so please check them out. Link is down below if you're interested. Guys, what's going on? Sensory rooms are awesome. So what is a sensory room, or what is a sensory environment? So, sensory is a type of shorthand name for sensory stimulated input, right? So we all have senses and we all can become sensory. So, you know, if you're smelling food, that's a sensory experience, right? You're smelling the food, it smells great. Or if you smell nice perfume, or it makes you think of a time long ago, that's kind of sensory. That's sensory input. It's making you feel a certain way. Or even putting on a coat and makes you feel warm. That's sensory feedback, and that's how you feel. So when we talk about sensory rooms or sensory environments, we are talking about an environment that's set up to accommodate an autistic individual or somebody who has sensory needs to help them achieve something, right? So this could be a room that is, you know, dimly lit with its main light, but it has twinkly LED lights, it has bubble lamps, it has fiber optic lights, it has flashing LEDs, it has soft cushions on the floor, like the Squishmallow type of thing, or the memory foam type of cushions. It has blankets and soft kind of cozies on the floor, but it also has fidget toys and kind of sensory squishy toys, because this type of environment is set up to stimulate sensory seekers, who are people who are wanting to find sensory comfort in something, because that type of input or that type of feedback to the brain of an autistic person can be really beneficial in helping them calm down and regulate. And the reason for this is because autistic individuals have an interesting relationship to sensory input. Now, autism sometimes, pretty much all the time, comes with sensory processing disorder, or SPD, which means that senses like smell, sound, touch, light, heat, all of this stuff can become extremely overwhelming for an autistic individual. And our entire world and 3D space is made up of all of these sensory inputs. So you can just imagine how chaotic this must be for somebody on the autism spectrum. Now, if you are in a schooling environment or a scholastic environment of any educational or academia, then it's always helpful to have a room that is sensory controlled, where the lights are dim. And like I said, you have nice ambient lights in there. You have mood changing bulbs. You have projectors projecting lights onto the ceiling. And this is because if you're having a sensory out of control moment outside, where there's people passing you, there's cafeteria smell, teachers and people are shouting, and it's all a bit too much, take a breath, enter the sensory room, and relax. It's there to decompress the autistic individual, to get them to ground zero. Now, when the autistic individual is using or seeking sensory stimuli input from a room like a sensory room, they're actually having tactile feedback. They're having feedback from touching things that are you know, squishmallows or something that is kind of like memory foam type, because it's giving them a more of an interesting tactile feedback rather than the hard, cold, solid wood floor or concrete. And the other thing is that the lighting on the sounds in there are going to be very muted and very kind of slow moving, but ambient enough so that their brain can catch up to saying it's relaxing. You know, it kind of gives you a different phase of vibration, or your brain is vibrating in a slightly different way where you can just relax with it. And this is actually beneficial for everybody. I know loads of people who are not on the autism spectrum who really enjoy sensory rooms. And I think that this should be a standard between all academic kind of establishments that they need this. Now, I have sensory tools in my room. You know, I have like a projector that projects light onto the ceiling so I can chill out. I can dim all the lights. I can black out my blinds. And this allows me sometimes to come in here and decompress with a little bit of ambient music, which is super awesome. And it really does help. It helps kind of break up those patterns, which is kind of like a rule number one for if you're a person who is hyperactive, hyperstimulated throughout the day, having small sensory breaks during the day can really help increase your productivity and maintain your stress levels at an all-time low. So having small 5 to 10 minute sensory breaks throughout your day, no matter how old you are, if you're on the autism spectrum, this can do massive amounts of awesomeness for you. Now, how can you implement something like this at home? Now, typically I'd say that you'd have to have a room, set up with all the sensory stuff, but that's not the case. You don't actually have to have a room for sensory input. You just have to be able to provide somewhere, and it could be the corner of your room. It could be one of those kind of like teepee tents that you put up in a room. It even could be, a closet that you've just decked out. Anywhere where you can create it, even a pop-up tent, and you just decorate it when you need it. Allowing somebody that time to get into and involved in a sensory, stimulating, relaxing input environment will really pay off dividends. So think about this when you're thinking about sensory stimuli. Now, I have a book all about this. It's a PDF download book, and you can get it from my online store. So I'm going to leave a link for that down below so you can actually check that out. And it will be also in the link in my bio. If you go through to my link in bio and search for sensory guidebook there for any individual. Guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Give me a comment. I'd love to know your input on this, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.